If you're tired of your feet hurting after you're done hooping, this list is for you because today we're going to talk about the
top 10 most comfortable basketball shoes.
Welcome back to another video on my channel. My name is Lucas. If you're new here, I'm a pro player reviewing shoes, so make sure to subscribe if you don't want to miss any of my reviews. With that being said, let's get straight into it and start with one of my favorite pairs, which are really comfortable, which is the Nike GT Cut Free. I really love the colorway selection, and of course they are insanely comfortable. I love the Zoom X cushioning. It's probably, I have to say, my favorite cushioning setup at the moment because it is insanely comfortable and also really lightweight. For me, comfort in the shoe is not only how soft they are and how plush they feel underneath, but also the all-around feel of the shoe when you're wearing them and how they feel on foot. And the GT Cut Free is an amazing shoe to wear, at least for me and for my needs. I love the cushioning setup, as I said, and I also love how light they are, how soft the uppers are. I love how padded the tongue is. It's really one of the most comfortable shoes I've worn this year. Here you can see the plushness of the tongue, and for me that just adds into the overall comfort of the shoe. It's not only the cushioning setup, it's also the materials and how they feel on foot, and the GT Cut Free is really a 10 out of 10 experience, at least for me and for my personal needs. Moving on to another shoe that's also insanely comfortable, we've got the New Balance Fresh Foam BB Volume 2. I already talked about this shoe in my most underrated shoes list, and as you can see, the sheer amount of cushioning in this shoe is absolutely insane. You've got a really thick midsole. It's a dual density setup of fresh foam. It's insanely comfortable, really soft. And just like with the GT Cut Free, the materials are also very comfortable on foot. They hug around your feet nicely, the tongue is also padded nicely, and you really have a nice and plush feeling while hooping in them. I mentioned that they're a little bit high off the ground, which is something you might expect from a shoe with a lot of cushioning, but there's definitely some better options if you need court feel and cushioning on this list. So that would be my only downside. And they're also a little bit more expensive. Just like the GT Cut Free, they come in at $200, these are $140. Moving on to another shoe and another brand, we've got the Nike LeBron 21. This is the blue diver colorway, an amazing colorway in my opinion. And this shoe has the thickest zoom unit you can get from Nike in the heel. It's really thick, I think almost 3 millimeters thick. And in the forefoot we also have a Zoom Turbo unit, which is insanely comfortable. They used it on the Kyrie Infinity for the first time and it was really comfortable, and it does the same job here on the LeBron 21. And of course they feel very similar to the LeBron 20s. What makes them comfortable as well is also again the materials. Even though there are some differences in materials on the LeBron 21, there's different colorways with different materials. On the one hand, this is a nice option because you have a wider array of materials for a wider array of people. Different people prefer different types of materials. For example, me, I prefer synthetic materials over leather materials. On the other hand, it's also a little bit of a downside for a shoe because if you really like the shoe and you want to get another colorway, there's a big chance that something will be different. For example, this colorway kind of has a patent leather colorway. As you can see, it's glazed. It looks like a little bit like the retro Jordans with the patent leather colorways. Then I have another colorway right here, which is the Abalone colorway, which has synthetic materials. It's a really weird material also, if you look at it close up. And I also have another colorway with actually two more colorways, one with just classic leather upper and one again with a kind of synthetic upper. So it's a little bit different for LeBron 21, but all of them are very comfortable. I really like the Nike Sphere setup they have here in the heel. It will mold to your foot the more you wear them. It's really nice and comfortable. It makes for a one-to-one fit here in the heel area, as you can see. It's really soft, kind of like memory foam. I really enjoy playing in them. Moving on to the next shoe, yet again, another shoe, another brand. We have the Puma MB1. Yes, the MB1, not the Freeze. I know the Freeze is the more recent model, but they're still releasing colorways of the MB1. And I feel like the MB1 is the most comfortable out of the MB line. The 2s were nice, the 3s are also pretty comfortable, but nothing comes close to the 1s. The combination of the Nitro foam cushioning and the upper, the materials, is just top of the market. So soft, so comfortable, they hardly need any braking time. And whenever I'm looking for a really comfy pair to practice in, these are my go-to pairs. When I feel like my legs are tired or I have like some pain somewhere, they're really nice. They're also good for wide feet just because the materials are so soft. They, as I said, don't need braking and they're soft all throughout the shoe, not only in the forefoot but really The whole shoe is very soft and still supportive enough, so they're really one of the most comfortable shoes on the market, like kind of any pair on this list. Anyways, moving on to another shoe. This one might come as a little bit of a surprise. It's the Jordan Why Not 0.6. They don't have the most insane cushioning setup, but as I said, it's not only about cushioning, it's also about the materials and how they feel on foot. And the materials here are insanely soft, and they have a crazy amount of padding here on the tongue and in the heel area. It's really comfortable, especially the tongue is great. It's a great shoe if you play with ankle braces like I do. As I said, the cushioning setup is nothing crazy. You have a zoom unit. It's kind of weird, it's not in the forefoot. So if you have the shoe right here, you would expect a zoom unit to be like right around here. But in this shoe, the zoom unit feels like it's around here. So like at the edge of where your foot goes over into your toes. So it's a little bit of a weird feeling the first times playing with them, but they are very comfortable. If you're looking for a nice and soft upper with a nice forefoot cushioning, these are for you. Just be aware they are not the most supportive. They do have a plastic shank here on the outside, but it doesn't really do much for torsional support. You can bend them and twist them however you want, so just watch out for that. My recommendation is only get these as a shoot around shoe, or if you're doing like light practices, I wouldn't play with them. I only use them for shoot arounds or lighter practices. Then another shoe from Jordan brand. This one, less of a surprise. We have the Jordan 38 low. If you want to get the 38s, I would definitely recommend you get the lows because the outsole durability is way better. I used my pair of the highs for 3 times and the outsole started to wear off, and I wore these like 6 or 7 times already and also played a tournament outside with them. It wasn't a concrete court, but it was a plastic tile court, so they really are way more durable and they are insanely comfortable. You have a full bed of zoom cushioning, really comfortable, and I love the materials on this shoe. Also on the highs, if you want to get the highs. Here you can see the kind of mesh upper here, the knit. It's so thin and so soft, it conforms to every foot shape, and it's also great if you have a wide midfoot like I have. They didn't need any breaking time for me, and they're really comfortable. They're a little bit heavier, so I still prefer shoes like the GT Cut Free just because they are lighter, but I think they're about the same weight as the LeBron 21, just for reference. Then another shoe, one of my all-time favorite shoes, because they are so comfortable and because they look great, the Adidas Harden Volume 7. I think they are more comfortable than the Harden Volume 8s for one simple reason. The 8s are more narrow. The kind of EVA liner we have here on the side, it moves in. So as you can see here, it goes inside a lot. I actually lace them differently because my feet are very wide here. And if you tie them, this piece right here, this piece here, will move in and will pinch on your feet. So that's why I feel like the 7s are more comfortable, because with this kind of puffer jacket vibe, you don't have that issue on the shoe. They don't have the same cushioning, it's a similar setup, but we have light strike in the forefoot right here, and then we have boost in the heel. You can see it better on this side. So it's a really comfortable setup, especially in the heel. And also this shoe, what makes him so comfortable is the upper. The puffer jacket here is so soft, so comfortable. They also don't need any break-in. I love how they have this elastic sock liner. It makes the fit really easy to put on. Also work great with ankle braces. Overall, one of my favorite shoes of all time, just because of the looks and because of how well they perform on court. Then another pair, we're going back to Puma. They were also on the most underrated shoes list. We have the Puma All-Pro Nitro. I called them a Kobe from Puma. That's also what Dennis Schröder calls them. He's gotten his own PE recently, which I also got. It was at the launch in Berlin. Really cool shoe, and I love to play with them because, you guessed it, they are so damn comfortable. The cushioning setup, full bed of nitro foam, even softer than the MBs in my opinion, and with great court feel. So if you need cushioning and court feel, I would definitely go for the All-Pro Nitro or for the GT Cut Free. These are cheaper. The regular colorways come in at $130. These special colorways like the Dennis Schröder PE come in at $140. And the materials are also really soft. The synthetic upper, I said I prefer them just because they need less break-in and they feel more comfortable on foot. And they are really comfortable. They hug around your foot. It's kind of a feeling of hooping on a cloud, if that makes sense, with that shoe. The first time I put them on was last summer at national team practice, and first of all I got a lot of compliments for the looks of the shoe, which made me feel good already, and then the shoes performed really nicely as well. So since then it's been one of my go-to shoes. I've got 3 colorways actually. The only thing you have to watch out for is that you get a pair with a translucent outsole, because the solid rubber outsole picks up insane amounts of dust. It's really crazy. I haven't seen a shoe pick up that much dust in a while. Kind of an issue for Puma in general, but on this shoe it's even more crazy than with the MBs, which says a lot. Then moving on to another a little bit older shoe, we've got the Nike KD16. Yes, the 16s, not the 17s. I feel like the 16s are more comfortable than the 17s, just because on the 17s they implemented a plastic shank, or it looks like a carbon fiber shank, but I think it's not carbon fiber, it's just a plastic. It looks like carbon fiber right here on top of the forefoot zoom cushioning setup, which doesn't let you feel the cushioning setup as much right from the go, whereas on the 16s, if you stepped in there, you really felt the air zoom unit in your forefoot, and you also felt the air strobel in the back. It is a really, really soft cushioning setup, and as I said, the materials also play a big role. Very soft, very comfortable. Overall, I still kind of prefer the 16s over the 17s, just because they're a little bit more supportive as well, even though they have the shank in the forefoot, the 17s, but these have more support in the midfoot area, which is very important to me personally. Moving on to the two last pairs, I couldn't decide for the last pair, so for the number 10 spot on the list, I couldn't decide, and that's why I opted for two pairs. On the one hand, we have the Anta Kai 1 in this beautiful purple colorway. I really love the details on the shoe, and they are insanely comfortable. You can see there's a lot of cushioning stacked here, especially in the heel area. And the second pair I have in contention for the last spot is the Wearweight All City 12. Even though the All City 12 doesn't have the most insane amount of cushioning, they do have a lot of compression in the heel and also in the forefoot, and they also have a big amount of boom foam, which is Wearweight's most premium cushioning. And I also like how the materials feel on foot, very soft, don't need any break-in, and they're also a great option if you have more narrow feet. I can definitely recommend you get the All City 12. Really an amazing, versatile shoe, also great for outdoors. And the Anta Kai 1 is on this list because they are insanely comfortable from a material standpoint. You can see they have a crazy amount of padding in the heel area, so that's why they are on this list. The tongue is also very, very padded, and it's a great feeling. Just stepping comfort is insanely good, and they hug around your feet, very comfortable. And of course, the cushioning setup is also decent. It's a pretty high stack here in the heel. The forefoot is lower to the ground like we're used to from Kyrie shoes, but not as low as something like the Nike Kyrie 7, for example. So they're not as low to the ground as Nike Kyries, but still lower to the ground. And honorable mention also goes out to the Nike Book 1. They are also very comfortable, but the forefoot is so low to the ground that I decided against putting them on this list. With that being said, that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, comment your most comfortable shoes that you've ever hooped in. I'm really interested to hear your thoughts. And of course, subscribe to my channel. It helps me out a lot. See you next time for more performance reviews.